absolute get-go, which was a joy to see. And yeah, if anybody wants to have a go at pronouncing what everybody's been calling Kiermgard, it now seems to be Kiermgol or something like that. I've got no idea. You be the judge. Then let us know. Now, thank you very much, everybody who sent us lots of messages last week going, we still can't hear Justin. Justin, you definitely can't hear him at the moment because he's still on his way back home, but he will be with us shortly and joining us via X rather than all of the very, very complicated stuff that we were fart-arsing about with last week. So never mind. But we've already got people who want to come on and have your say. And as ever, this is the post-match phone-in. It is about hearing from you what you think, not really about us or anything like that. And we'll kind of get through various things. But first of all, I mean, presumably there's pressure eases on Petzolano, but I think for me, pressure was the key to this. It was, we really got up at them and pressed them and were in their faces, which we weren't doing on Tuesday night. And I appreciate it was a different team and what have you. Things seemed to sort of click. It was interesting that we didn't start with Quadro Bar. Instead, we had the excellent Nestory Kunda, who looks a lot of fun. What do you think about that? You let us know. First person here is our old mate Resa. Let me add him in as a speaker, and we can stop hearing me yabber on forever and start hearing what other people think. Resa, sir, are you there?
Hello, Pete.
Hello, mate. Well,
long time.
Yeah.
Long time no speak.
Well, it's been a summer, isn't it? I saw you. I saw you posted up from a pub garden post Charlton, not letting result all the day be dampened in any way, shape, or form. Today,
well, yes. I mean, that was probably one of the reasons why I didn't come on. I just thought I'm not going to let the result dampen my day.
Quite right.
Beer came first last week.
And that's the way to do it, everybody. That's one of life's better choices, executed there by Resa. So come on, mate. It's been. We didn't speak to you last week. It's been 3 games. It's been that kind of quintessential sort of roller coaster. What are your thoughts today?
Well, I didn't go Tuesday because I was in Norfolk, but it sounded horrendous from Kids Club.
Yep.
Even the Sky commentary, like text commentary, sounded horrendous. So I can't really comment on that. But what a difference! I almost said to a couple of my mates last week that for the first sort of half hour of that Charlton game, It could have been a game from last season. It almost felt like nothing had really changed. It could have been Tom Cleverley in charge. It just felt the same. But then, then you could see us grow into it and get some pressure. And then it was just unfortunate, really, to give away that at the end. But moving on to today, great to get a win. Great to be back. You could just see the confidence from... What are we calling him? Should I just call him the Danish?
No. The one thing I'm going to insist on is that everybody has a go. It doesn't matter how bad it is, but we've all got to have a go because let's face it, we're British and therefore we're rubbish at pronouncing anything. I mean, see Dave for details. But what do you think you're going to call him?
Kurum Good, or should I just call him Luca?
No. Oh, I like what you've done. You've gone for the get out clause, but I know I like the Kurum Good. I didn't think that was
Kurum Good.
Yeah.
Well, he was Kurum Good today, and
nicely done.
What do I say? So he's just got a bit of service, both, from Iran Kunda and then the assist from Loser. It's just getting your strikers some service is so important, and we really lacked that last season. So, you have any quality striker in there, especially the size of him. You get the balls into him, and yeah, great. So, and you could see the confidence. Once we went, certainly after his first goal, you could just see him getting involved. And I think, strikers, despite what some on this platform might say, need to score. That's their number one job. And when they're getting you could just see the confidence brimming, and that was brilliant. And I'm, 2 goals in already. So yeah, hopefully we'll see a lot more of that. I mean, my only, I don't want to play on any negatives, but Paolo, if you're listening, mate, just stop doing the playing out from the back, just for now, just until we can actually do it, because the pressure that we're inviting on ourselves by constantly doing the bit where Kevin knocks it to Selvig, he knocks it out to the left.
Yep.
They really press hard, and then we end up knocking it back to Selvig, who just punts it up the field, but under pressure anyway.
Yep.
So it's just a massive waste of 5 touches and 2 players we could push forward, but. you might find that will work against the likes of your Southamptons, your Ipswich, your Sheffield United, teams who like to play possession-based football. But when you're playing against the QPRs, the Oxfords, I'm trying to think of another one, people who people who high press and just go for you.
Yeah.
We don't have the players for it. And I just think, I know he likes Pep. He spent 2 weeks with Pep, but that if you're listening, Paolo, please just don't do it, because we're putting ourselves under so much pressure, and then we're doing some panicking clearances. So there's that. But I mean, it's just really nice. It's just nice to see us try and get forward, like you said, some actual press. I suppose the only other thing which I could comment on a bit negatively is we do tend to sit back and let the teams play their game, don't we? Which, from what I understood, he was a big fan of, again, Pep and the off the ball work to get the possession back. But I don't see that. I just see us sitting back and letting them almost play their game and get right up to our back line. I mean, I don't know if I don't know what that is, but no, look, it's really early, Pete. I'm not going to sit here and moan too much. It's great to get a win, great to be back, and yeah, move on to next weekend. But real shame about loser. I didn't.
Yep.
I couldn't work out if it was a slip or if he just got a bit hot-headed and went in. Maybe someone who watched on telly or seen the replay could tell us. But for me, I don't know. And hopefully that's something that either we could appeal or, I mean, because he is the engine in that midfield. He is actually driving that midfield. And I think we'll be lost without him.
Well, I thought exactly as you did. I thought his impetus was going, and I thought he slipped. That's, and I appreciate that any QPR fan will be going, well, you're watching this with yellow tinted spectacles. Quite right. You're not wrong. And I got in, and my son, who's been on holiday, came back and just caught the highlights, and I said it looked like a slip, and he said, yeah, not sure about that. I was like, okay. So I haven't seen it. So anybody else who's seen this and has an opportunity and a way to turn around and say, no, Pete, your son doesn't know what on earth he's talking about. Trust me, extra bonus points if you can manage to get that in as well. So it would be nice to hope that whilst we don't have VAR in the Championship, thank Christ, that somebody would have a review of that panel, because to lose him for 3 games is a big issue, and of course it would accelerate the requirement to bring in the lad from Udinese, Lovric. That would be that would really be sort of something we'd need to be getting done sooner than later, if not. So there we go. Anyway, Reza, lovely to hear from you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
You may take care. I'll catch you again soon. Lovely. Justin, sir, are you with us on X? And so everybody can look at this. Everybody, you should be able to hear. Everybody send me a text. Everybody sends a text. Deluge of texts coming probably. If you can't hear Justin, we shall see. Let's get across to Ben Pegram, otherwise known, or formerly known, I should say, as Yao Pegram, because he was in charge of keeping Yao Pedro at Watford for an extra season, and he managed it. And of course, now he's gone and won the World Championship. So really, Ben owns the World Championship. That's how I look at these particular things. Thank you, Melanie, saying we're going to miss Loser. Very unfortunate. You're absolutely right. It was indeed. Ben, sir, if you hit your mic button at the bottom, there you go. How are you doing? Long time no speak. You good?
All good. Very well, thank you. Hope you're all good. Yeah, what a sort of change of 2 different games. I think my take on it was more in terms of the formation that he put out, and obviously don't know if that's something that he'll keep with going forward. But, and again, not getting too ahead of myself, but it reminded me of the season when we had Zola, and maybe we've gone back, and hence Barami, and sort of going back to that 3-5-2 bit. I think that really worked. Having the 2 guys up top, the little and large combination, the ball players from the back. I think just the biggest thing is that we need to, and obviously Loser plays such a big part in it, but it's that engine room in the middle. You can see sort of Kayembe and Sissoko slightly fading towards the end. I think that's going to be the key thing if he's going to keep going with this formation. But otherwise, I think, he's done a great job, and it's shown that he's got a bit of tactical flexibility. He's not just going to stick with it and be a bit stubborn with it, and he's going to change. Hopefully, again, haven't seen any replays of Loser, but it just felt a bit petulant and silly, and a red card felt a bit over the top.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed it can get looked at.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed. I don't know if you've seen the lad Lovrich, Sandy
No.
Lovrich. Lots of people doing QI host jokes about that, really, more than anything. But seems to be well considered in Udinese way. We need to bring in somebody into that particular area, especially if we're not going to be trusting Tom Deli Bashiru after Tuesday night. I could understand why. However, he brought him on. Wouldn't have trusted Ryan Andrews, and he brought him on. And fair play, he came back and again. But what has happened? Please, can somebody explain me? And I'm going to go to you, Ben, first of all. What has happened to Jeremy Ngakia? Because I may be wrong, but I thought he was outstanding today.
Yeah, I think he must have had a holiday in Brazil or something on the beaches out there. Like some of that, and then also a nod to loser the Moroccan Maradona with his little turns in there as well. It was like watching something crazy. I think it shows that they're playing with a bit of freedom and a bit of confidence that they can try some of those things. They're not going to pull them off every time, but it's nice to see that. It's enjoyable. It brings a bit of a smile to your face with those. So yeah, but I thought in Ngakia, some of the stuff that he's been doing, it's just as long as he doesn't break down again. I think he's had a fairly solid start to the season and shown some really good promise. But yeah, I don't know much about this lad from Udinese. But I think the other option, if we lost loser for a bit, it's maybe Cipriano into that loser role and put someone else into defence where Cipriano was playing. So I think we've got some options, but we don't want to lose loser for too long. He's the glue in there.
He absolutely is. Well, before I let you go there, Ben, because I should have done it really with Reza. Reza, I do apologise. In fact, I might ask Reza to give me a mark out of 10 for something. It's the first home game. I think it's time we did marks out of 10 for people who played. So anybody who comes on, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to designate you a particular player, and I'm going to ask for your marks out of 10. Anybody else can contest it, but we're simply not listening to them. So it's you who decides. I'm going to ask, what was your score out of 10 for Hector Cipriano today?
I think a solid 7. Nothing incredible, but no mistakes. A very solid 7.
Nicely done. Well, do we think he's a midfielder, or because he's showing an immense amount of flexibility, moving into that flexible shape that we had today? If anybody didn't see it, was like we'd play a sort of a 5-3-2, and then we'd kind of switch into a 4-4-2 when they were taking their goal kicks, and there really seemed to be some flexibility there. Have you been quite impressed with him so far today? And what do you think about his flexibility?
Yeah, I think that shows a good bit where we've got having that hybrid player there in a back three. I think really works because he can, like I say, carry the ball out. He can do some of the midfield work, but he's also solid in winning headers. He's tall, he's strong, he's got a bit of pace about him. So I think personally, if we're playing a back three, I think that is an ideal role for him in there.
Fantastic. Ben, thank you very much indeed. Catch you soon, hopefully very soon after another game. There's Ben Pegram, as I say, single-handedly responsible for João Pedro and the many millions that we gained for him. I may be wrong. People on I don't know yet, just in about on Twitter, but people on YouTube, Chris Iannone, otherwise known, obviously, as we know, as Jimmy Pesto says, looked a clear red on the replay. And just B, that's all, says definitely a red loser, does these stupid things occasionally. So it sounds like my son actually knows what he's talking about, which is obviously very, very bad news for me. Never mind. Let's get across to Mr. Andy Woodward, who I saw a little bit earlier today. Woody, sir, you bought the Woodlets to the game.
Good afternoon, Peter.
Yeah, good afternoon. First of all, let's deal with the football stuff to hand, and then we'll get onto the other news, which is a little bit obviously sadder, but I think I would like to cover it. But what did the Woodwards think of everything today?
Well, actually, I think we went to the Norwich game, and I think compared to that game, this was a lot more positive. I think we all got the impression that Paolo was testing a few players on Tuesday night. I don't think we need to bother ourselves with any cup fixtures right now. So, yeah, let's focus on the league.
Yes.
And I think, a lot of people have said Hector had a fantastic game Tuesday night. And I think, again, he was solid. Yeah, I think he was just doing the job today. Fantastic work up front for my number 9. And I thought Selvig had a good game as well, actually. I think his distribution, by the way, 10 times better than Bachmann. And that's the last time I'm going to mention his name. But Selvig just sees it and delivers it. None of this annoying frustration stuff. And that's what I like. I like quick release from the defence if we can get it.
Very good indeed. Well, I mean, there is. I think we'll ask you and indeed the Woodlets to give the marks out of 10 then for Selvig. I mean, you've more or less selected the player that you want to go for. You've praised his distribution. What are you going to go for collectively, guys?
Yeah, I might have persuaded you on that one. I would probably say a 9 out of 10 today. I mean, I know he probably didn't have much to do about the goal, unfortunately. But other than that, reasonably solid performance. And he looked like he was jumping in the right direction for any of the shots that weren't quite on target. So I think he would have covered us. I felt mildly confident that we would get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it was in fairness, it was a hell of a strike. And that second half was far better from QPR. I don't see how it could have been worse than they performed in the first half. And it came out of nothing really, and it was an absolute worldie of a strike. And fair play to him, indeed, fair play. But sir, your old man, a long-standing Hornet, and there's been, we like to try to kind of talk about the community here as well. So Richard and well, as you all know, Woody and I talk about Risborough Rangers a fair bit, and I know we piss various people off by going, "Why are you talking about non-league?" And it's because it's me and I'm random. But talk to us a little bit about Risborough and tell us the news about your old man, and just let us know about him.
I appreciate that. It was quite poignant for us on Tuesday. So back in February, our family always do one hospitality a year. So my brother, his son, my 3 boys, and my dad, and we all went to the Norwich game on the 1st of February. And 2 weeks later, he sadly suffered a fatal heart attack. It was very sudden. We literally knew nothing. There was no warning, and it totally came out the blue. And I turned 50 just 3 days after that Norwich game, so it wasn't quite on my list of 50 things to do in my 50th year. But yeah, as you say, he was chairman of Risborough Rangers for 30 years. We've had some memorial games. He's had a stadium named after him. It's a Step 5 semi-professional team. They won 3-0 today against Virginia Water, which is great news. So yeah, it's just very, very, very poignant going back on Tuesday night. Obviously, with him not being there, but because it was Norwich, and at least we got the same sort of result where we lost by a goal, and sticking to the same thing. But it was lovely to be able to carry on his legacy, and I'm still involved in the club now on a commercial side to try and carry on his dreams.
Wonderful. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you will see there's the picture of the Richard Woodward family stand over at Risborough. And if you're wondering which one Woody is, and has he really hit 50? Well, not according to this, but one in from the left at the back there. Honestly, what can I say? He's there.
I managed a solid half a game, and I didn't injure myself, so I'll take that as a victory.
And why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you indeed? Well, no, it's on talking about Norwich games. I was in hospitality, invited in by somebody, which was very, very thankful, lovely, very nice indeed. And if people remember Ethan King from last year, his dad Jim came over and said hello, and we were having a chat. And Ethan, lost his battle with cancer at the age of 15. And look, it's so sad that these people are taken from us, but they're part of the community. They're part of everything. We just want to sort of remember everybody as and when we can. So look, guys, everybody who's had kind of either lost ones or Carl Wilson, for example, lost his mum earlier on this year. It wasn't long since prior to that, only a few years before his dad. And sometimes it's difficult, but sometimes on days like today, Watford pick us up a little bit, don't they?
Exactly. I just want to say a very good thank you to Carlos, because I messaged him in the week on social media. He put something on about his dad, and we had a little message backwards and forwards. And, we absolutely love our dads. We follow their dreams and everything else. And, he just said, if you can get 5 more minutes back with your dad, if you've lost him, you'd take it in a heartbeat. So all those people that have their family with them, cherish it and everything else. My dad was a lifelong Peterborough fan. So actually, I think he's given us Hector as a little well-wishing way forward. So I'll take that from him.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this very much indeed. Woody, Woodlets, have a good journey back, and see you very, very soon indeed. There's Andy Woodward, lovely stuff. We don't put enough pictures of people who are standing in formations and go, he's that one there. I like that. I like that very, very much indeed. I just thought I'd come quickly before I'm going to go to bring in Wendover. So stay with me, Greg. I'll bring you in just a second. But Paolo Pezzolano ahead of the game. Okay, this is what he said ahead of the game. The support of the fans is going to be important. Having so many young players, they really need that support from the fans. What we expect is we play in a way that the fans can identify with the team. Hopefully we can deliver, as the reason why we do this is for their happiness. I imagine the money probably also helps, but fair play, that this was before. And if you can imagine saying this after the Norwich game, but fair dues, he's going to have his way. He said, when you're talking about QPR, he said they play very well in every position of the pitch. They have good players. They will try and play us and try to hurt us. What is more important is what we do. This is interesting. When they have the ball, how do we protect ourselves and find ways to transition? When we have the ball, we need to understand where the advantages will be to finish and create chances. We expect an even game. Hopefully, it will fall on our side. Game of fine margins. 2-1. He then said, in every team, talking about the process of trying to mould the team together, and you may have already read this on the Watford Observer or something along those lines. In every team, it's a different process. He says, what is difficult is to get the players to know each other and to understand each other. What's important here is to understand what we're building, the foundations. He said, we want to build a house on top of strong foundations. If you don't do this, the house might look pretty, but it will fall down and crumble. It won't be real and it won't be true. You work on the foundations so you can build on top of that. Justin, what do you think of those words about foundations and the like? Do you think that's a reasonable kind of thing to have come out? I thought it was quite brave to say it after the Norwich performance. That was, well, first half especially was shocking, but the second half showed improvements. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is brave to mention foundations. However, Cole Campion used the word foundations about 600 times today in a manner to try and annoy me. So I don't really want to hear that word again today. But yeah, no, that is after the game on Tuesday, very brave to come out with something like that, to be fair.
Well. Now that I know it annoyed you,
Yes, yeah. I shouldn't have said anything today.
You really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. Let's get Wendover on. Let's get Greg on. See whereabouts he is. Greg, whereabouts are you, sir? You sound like you may be travelling, but in a muted, comfortable, and expensive car.
Yes, I'm not in Colin's throat burner.
That's what I was really saying, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm in my own car. Nowhere near the A41.
Ooh.
So I'm going to stop off at Amersham and watch the end of
the cricket.
A good cricket match that seems to be in play. I think Amersham are on the verge of beating Reading, so that I will pop in and have a look at that.
Good stuff. Sorry, who's batting second? Who's batting now?
Reading are batting at the moment.
Ooh.
And they're about 65 for 6, chasing 200 and plenty.
Oh, so, blimey. This sounds like it's going to be a skittling, doesn't it? Absolutely. Anyway, enough of such things. It was bad enough when Pete just kept banging on about non-league. Now he's gone on to cricket. Sorry, everybody. Greg, Greg, what are your thoughts today?
I thought the first half, apart from the last few minutes, was absolutely outstanding. There seemed to be a game plan. They all knew where each other was. Eric Nestori is a bag of fun, isn't he? Really enjoyed watching him. Great, absolutely fantastic. Then Hector loses the ball, but we'd already won the ball. We already won the ball back, actually, hadn't we? And then a wonder strike, really, a lucky goal for me. Totally against the run of play. Thought QPR had the first 25 minutes of the first half. Then we came back into it.
Do you mean the second half? They didn't have the 21st anything in the first half.
Yeah, they had the first 25 minutes of the second half.
Yeah.
I meant, and then I think if Quadro had slotted one of those away, it would have been a comfortable 3-1 victory. and bring it on. I was suitably impressed today. Think I would have criticised Cipriano. That was the one mistake I've seen him make in 3 games of football now. I think we've got a player there, and apologies, Paul Holly, if you're listening, but there aren't going to be many people calling Kieran Gard Kermit this evening, are there?
Oh, I don't know. You did point this out the other day, and then you said, "Okay, he is a bit green." And I did point the fact that you can't you can't say that you can't call him Kermit and then describe him as green, which is, I mean, let's face it, he had a song about that, really, or was it his? I don't remember.
He has still a lot to learn, but as I said in the first 2 games, I've seen stuff in him that would suggest that he's going to be a good player. He's got a lot of development in him, and he's not the finished article yet.
Yep.
And I do hope that they bring in an experienced 9 to work with what we've got, because our 3 9s are all prospects, and it'll be nice to have another one in there. But I thought he did very, very. Took his 2 goals very well, didn't he? And fair play to the guy. Thought Sissoko put in a shift today, Pete. The much maligned Mr. Sissoko.
I agree.
I thought he gave a shit, and he put in a shift.
No, I thought there was a lot of conversation at the bunker today. Which, incidentally, if anybody hasn't visited the bunker this season, they've done a bit where they've opened up the front. I mean, if you remember, you just go through the door. Almost the whole of the frontage is opened up, and it makes such a difference. The guys in there have done a lot of work. They've reduced some of the storage space at the back, so it's much bigger from an interior. They put some stuff in. Well done, Roy, and everybody down there. It was absolutely superb.
Yeah, well, he's a good lad, Roy.
Absolutely. And whilst you can't take the drink outside, your drink outside, you can take it right up to it, and because it's open, it feels so much nicer, which is great. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Sissoko, because I agree with you. You're right. He is much maligned, and mainly by me, I think, in fairness, or at least I'm a large contributor to the malign Sissoko fan club, so to speak, until obviously I saw Mrs. Sissoko at a pre-season game, and then all things have changed.
Oh, we were together at the time.
We were. After that, all bets are off. So, but I thought he was absolutely excellent. There was lots of discussions before, as I say, down the bunker about, well, why isn't Quadwo starting? After the impact that he made second half on Tuesday night, why isn't he starting? Well, gotta say to Mr. Bestana, I think he got that one right. I'm going to ask you for a mark out of 10 for Sissoko, please.
I'm going to give him an 8 today.
You're going to give him 8. Crikey, this is good. I like this. That's good. Anything else or any other observations? Because in a moment, I'm going to go over to Ross. And even though Ross is a Coventry City enthusiast, I'm still going to ask him for marks out of 10, because we never let a lack of knowledge get in the way of an opinion that do not scratch your eyes. I can tell you that much.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Ross, he's gone. Ross, we need you back for your 10s. Go on, carry on.
I don't want to sound negative on a positive day.
Yeah.
But Ryan Andrews showed to me today that we need another right. But he keeps telling me this, but he got wrong side there at the end, and let a ball come in, and we could have conceded. That boy has gone backwards, and I think he needs a loan lower down to get some development. I'd like to see another right back come in.
Well, sometimes a loan will work that out. I think a lot of people have said, look, right back, we need it we need somebody fresh to come in. I was really pleased with Jeremy Ngaki today. I thought he did great work.
100%.
And then when he got shifted across to the left, he suddenly thought he was a junior from 1982 Brazilian World Cup team. Fantastic stuff that.
Peter, you questioned earlier on what's happened to Ryan Andrews.
Yep.
I think Jezza Ngaki.
Yeah.
I think Jez has had a period where his body hasn't let him down, and we're seeing the results of it. Keep Jezza fit, and he is showing that he could be our number 1 right back. But you need two in each position, and I think Ryan is so shot. He's not good enough to even be the second one. Think he needs as I say, a lone lower down. Really encouraged with the Sandy Lovrick. I watched a bit of him. Do you remember when Udinese were in that relegation battle?
Yeah,
That was the year before last, and he stood out to me as a really good player. And I think people are saying, could he be the loser replacement when if loser misses 3 games? Don't see him as that type of player.
Mm-hmm.
I see him more of the ball winner in midfield. That could possibly be box to box and maybe come in with the occasional goal or two. I don't see him as a loser type player.
Well, can I just say that Justin in his co-producer role here has just put past the bottom of the screen. It's a message from Alex King, and it says, "Can I just compliment Greg in brackets Wendover Horn on his lovely yellow tracksuit top he was wearing at the game today?" He said, "When I saw him, was a fine piece of clothing, or I nearly said clobber then.
Okay.
I mean, look, sir, younger men are picking you out for your sartorial elegance. Well done, well done."
Well, it's very, very. If anybody wants one, 80s casuals. It's called the Taquini Dallas, and it's in Watford yellow. Yeah.
There you go. For all those people wanting to rock the Wendover look, I could imagine that'll be a massive amount of people. Greg, I will catch you very, very soon indeed. Right, let's get across to Ross. Ross, sir, hit your mic button down the bottom left. There you go, Ross. Ross, are you with us? Oh no, we've got one of those where they come in and they go out and they come in and go whatever. Right, let's get to somebody I haven't spoken to all season, and of course everybody's dying for me to speak to him. It's Mr. Neil Nelly O'Connor. Nelly, you know the deal. Hit your mic button and let us know where you are.
How you doing, Pete?
I'm all right, thank you. You sound like you're relatively static. Normally you'd be somewhere approaching Heathrow or maybe Leatherhead.
No, I'm not going to let the M25 spoil my day. So
Okay.
I've gone for an old-fashioned Eastbury Road, Northwood, Harefield, Denham, and I'm sneaking my way down to Gatwick that way.
I see what you're doing now. Well, look, we've got better reception than normal. This is very good. What were your thoughts on today? And have you had a good summer and all of that?
I'll tell you what, I've had a manic summer, Pete, because the family house has gone now in Bricket Wood. So I know you met my daughter. She's in Watford. I'm down at Gatwick. A lot of training work being done. And then I was petrified to go to the game today after seeing comments on the first 2 performances.
Well, the first 2 performances have been less than desired. Most certainly, today's been the highlight of them. But I don't think you can let comments put you off going to Watford, sir. A supporter of your long standing.
Well, the thing was that I didn't get any media, anything to watch for myself because I worked both those games. And then, lo and behold, I went to Watford today, and the bunker has been transshipped to Marbella.
It's been transshipped or transformed, one of the two.
Well, transshipped, and you said that you can't bring the drinks outside of the bunker, but no, you've brought outside in.
Yeah, this is it. This is exactly what they've done. They've extended the area into literally, because you can open it up, so you can literally drink right up to the edge, and the edge is much bigger, and the inside is much bigger, and the inside is much airier, much lighter. No, they've done a fantastic job, haven't they?
And then, I was really impressed. I love it. I love it. And then into the ground. Try the new range of pies. They were great, but they didn't have any cutlery when I got mine, so that was a bit of a downside, but they sorted that out. they're having quite a few issues with the catering equipment down in the Rookery, but
Okay.
I'm sure they'll get that.
Okay, I've got to ask the question because I have tried the chicken balti, and I can tell everybody that the chicken balti it's worth going for. I like it very much. What flavour did you have, and would you recommend it?
Steak and ale, 9 out of 10.
Steak and ale, 9 out of 10. Well, that's better than Sissoko's got today, so that's not too bad. I'm going to give you a player to give me. I'm going to say Nestori Irankunda was a lot of fun today. It was. Yeah, I think he was fairly influential. What are you going to give him as a mark out of 10?
Mate, I'm giving him 8, and I'll tell you, before my dad passed away, he used to love giggling at Joe Root with 66 on the back of his shirt. And then when he got that shirt, when he signed, I just keep thinking about my late father. What he'd say about that.
Well, there you go. 66, reminiscent of many things.
I thought he was good. I really did. But I'm going to say something about the 2 goals.
Okay, say something about the 2 goals.
They reminded me of old-fashioned style goals. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, they were crosses and they were hung up to the back post and headed, and I thought the first one. Bearing in mind, I'm in the family stand, so I was looking. I thought, did he make a bit of a porridge of that? I thought because he looked like he got onto it late, and he didn't. He waited till the ball was there for him to be able to literally just pass it past the keeper. But it was a lovely kind of run down the wide, delivery of the ball in with real quality, where you have a cross that spins away from the keeper, an out swinging cross, which was excellent. He'd obviously had the header, first of all, from a Musa Sissoko cross, which was also similarly, should we call it traditional or old-fashioned, kind of old forward, centre forward play, which went over. But he didn't let that hurt him. And then as I say, the headed goal, second one, that'll do us, and hopefully it will do the young lad Luca the world of good, because he looked a different proposition when he has service to what he was when he was playing against Charlton, where he was still winning his fair share of flick-ons. There was nobody running in behind. Today, we got flick-ons, and how many times in the first half did Nestori kind of get running away? That young man here in Kunda looks like a lot of fun, doesn't he?
Yeah, I agree with the comments about Jeremy Nagati as well. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that injury-free, this could be his proper breakout year.
Well, let's hope so. Let's absolutely hope so. I think he looks comfortable, and he looks reassured. And I think what Greg said there was quite right. He looks like somebody who's got through that horrible spate of injuries, which we know lasted 3 to 5 years, or 3 to 4 years of a 5-year contract. He did much better last year in terms of getting through that, although maybe a bit erratic on some performances. He looked much better today. However, one swallow does not a summer make, as they say. So, you got to make sure you bring it back and deliver it consistently. And that's going to be the key for the team as well. We don't kind of just go, right, everything is solved now, because we've had that. We've got to make sure that out of those 3 games, it's the last one that feels like something that we can build on, to use the old foundational term, which I know Justin now loves the word foundation, so I'm going to use it quite a lot. We need to build on that and not slip back and revert back into the other stuff. But how fascinating to have a first half where we were seemingly running QPR ragged until the last knockings there, in fairness, came back really strongly in the second half, and Ilias Chair is still a real force for good in the championship for them. But in that first half, we didn't have Bar, we didn't have Vata, we didn't have Chak Fatadza, and yet we were opening people up. That's got to be a good thing, because these are game changers who we can bring on at other stages to be able to kind of come in and help games. Let's get to JD Wisdom. Let's get to JD. JD, are you there? Hit your mic button down the bottom left, and you can come in and have a chinwag with us. JD, are you there? It looks like the answer is no. That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, JD, re-request, and we will get you in. Let's, in the meantime, go across to Jimmy Pesto, who I mentioned earlier on, had sent us a note in the comments to say that no, it did look very much like it was a red card for most, for certain. Let's get across to Chris in the US. Chris, hit your mic button and let us know how things are going with you, sir.
Howdy, Peter. How you doing, man?
Hello, mate. I'm all right. First Transatlantic call of the day. Can't be bad. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, I was setting up for a pretty shitty morning, and there we go.
Well, it certainly got better. 2-1 win, 2 goals. We've got our centre forward off the mark. After kind of people looking at him going, well, we didn't seem to be scoring goals in pre-season. We finally got some. We've got to make it stick and not be kind of get too carried away, I suppose. But it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. What were your thoughts on the various things that you saw on what you thought was going to be a shitty day, but turned into a better morning?
Yeah, well, good to see the number 9 get off the mark. That is a positive.
Yep.
Jury's still out for sure. Want to see him kind of follow that up with some more performances. I know Cipriano had that. He's kind of responsible for that goal, but I think he's been an awesome addition this season. What a flexible player.
Absolutely.
Sitting as a center back, going into the midfield. I mean, you don't see players like this these days. And so I think he's going to be our next big man that will go on for a fee somewhere. But love watching him. And Nesty, I love that kid. Man, imagine being a defender and have that little rat messing with you all fucking day. It is a brilliant. He is just annoying. I like him and Ba on Wednesday when they were just running at people.
Yep.
Man, I love that combo. I want to see how Petzolano could flex some of the system. Love seeing the 3 at the back. Overall, I mean, this is a positive day. We'll wait till next week, right?
Absolutely. Well, John Myers agrees with you. He says, I think Cipriano's dribble out in the first half stoppage time ultimately led to their goal. It did. I must confess, I was thinking of words like Beckenbauer as he was dribbling out, and then the pass went awry and he went, oh, Jesus. And then, of course, it fell. But it's one of those goals where, you and John are absolutely right. That's where it's kind of come from. But in fairness, it's a hell of a strike. It's a hell of a strike from there to be able to get it. But yes, it's one of those. It's one of those. So I'm going to need to push you definitely for a mark out of 10 for somebody. And I think why not? Why shouldn't we go to, as you said, the jury's still out on him. But what do you think of either Kiermgaard or Kiermgaard, or how are you pronouncing it?
I've been going with Kiermgaard, but let's out of 10 today. I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. We got to give him a good score, maybe even higher, maybe a 9. Shit, let's change it on the fly.
Oh,
for the season, though, I'll give him a 7 on the season. Okay. I do see the signs there. He finds the channels. He's a good runner without the ball. He's good in the press. So I like a lot of those things. And I think he can find onion baskets. So let's just keep giving him more service. And honestly, like if we're giving him shitty marks for the first couple of games, this is the first time he's gotten good service with the ball at his feet.
Absolutely.
So love to see it.
And support around him, which is excellent. Now, if anybody isn't aware that Chris and his brother Nick have been over to, is it 4 or 5 times now?
Well, he had to push me, maybe 5.
It's 5 times for you because, of course, the last time you came over and got the win, you were with your good lady wife rather than with your brother Nick. So there you go. Any more plans to venture this way soon and give the air miles a good bashing?
I think so. We are in the discussion phase of looking at some options. I would love in October, but we might have to push it. I'm looking in December. There's 2 home games in a row there, December 6th, I think. So if I could get those 2 in, why not? Let's go have some fun.
That sounds an excellent thing. Let's have a look at the. Let's try and bring up the. My Excel's right. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So yes, absolutely. So 6th of December would be Norwich City at home, and then the following Tuesday at home to Sheffield Wednesday as well. That's a good bit of planning. Either side of that is Birmingham City and Wrexham away. Well, I mean, not being daft, Wrexham have got an awful lot of coverage in your part of the world, haven't they?
I'm good. I'll pass. But Norwich, I mean, coming for a home game with Norwich, I mean, I'll pay for the whole trip with that game. All I have to do is put a Josh Sargent anytime goal scorer, and we'll cover the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, well, pretty much that's almost a surefire certainty, isn't it?
Yep.
I may point out the fact that he looks like a barista every single time we play them, but even though nonetheless, it's still rather good. Oh, lovely stuff, Chris. Well, look, I'm glad you enjoyed today. An interesting one. Catch you soon. A very interesting one to look at tactically, because I don't think anybody saw us kind of basically going Kyprianou to the left side of a centre back pairing. I agree completely with what Chris said there about how flexible this guy is, because he gives us some real reassurance. He gives us some real difference as to what to do, which is great. Some comments from YouTube at the moment. Elliot S. Hello, Elliot says Selvig didn't have enough to warrant a 9. 6.5 out of 10, he says. So there you go, Wendo. We got Elliot arguing, and also nicely, I like this. I doubt we are bringing in another 9, he says. We need a midfielder and a centre half, kind of more, in my opinion. Very good, very well said. And our understanding, if you looked at the Watford Observer with Adam Drury, was that it looks like, as we say, Lovric, whichever one you want to call him, looks like he's going to be coming into the midfield berth. Sounds, I've spoken to a couple of people who are keen Udinese kind of people, enthusiasts, and they say he's a good egg, so that'll do me. I've heard some names mentioned in terms of the centre back, but nothing concrete and nothing I'd want to put my name to at this moment in time. So we'll wait and see how we go. He also says could be number 1 right back. He already is. This is a very good point, and Ngakia is really at the moment winning it. I think his point was the fact that he would have liked to have been bringing somebody in. Names we've been connected with have been Ryan Christie, Alfie Gilchrist, etc. And I think they would probably give, kind of young Ngakia, how condescending does that sound? Jeremy Ngakia, a run for his money, where the competition hopefully pushes them and pushes them and pushes them. But that's all good. I like that. I like that very much indeed. Right. So let's quickly have a look at something I wanted to mention, if it was okay with you, and you guys can all go, oh God, he's banging on about that again, but I don't care, frankly. Tomorrow is the return of WFC women are back. They are starting their season down at Lewis tomorrow. So I'm not going to be down at that one, or at least unless I can think of a really, really good excuse to piss my family off anymore. But if you haven't seen it, the women they're no longer going to be down at Grosvenor Vale in Ruislip Manor. They are moving back to Kings Langley, to the Orbital Fasteners Stadium. It's a bit of a mouthful, I grant you, but I believe the pitch is there now of a pretty good standard, which is good. It should also hopefully be good, because Ruislip Manor was a bit of a distance, bit of a schlep for everybody. Obviously, anybody who's living further south, it was great for them, but hopefully anybody who has seen the women's team over the last year or two will probably go, you know what, it's worth me schlepping to Kings Langley for. That would be good to see. Other news is on the women's side is that Watford women and Watford ladies have joined together. Watford ladies basically are I think it's about a 30-team kind of a deep club of, for girls and development in the Watford area, and they've always been really, really closely connected to Watford, and now there's a real sort of joining, so that effectively almost in a I'm going to use the word academy style, but what I mean is like a pathway through for the young girls of Watford to be able to see that, yeah, look, they can go all the way through and play for Watford women's first team, and that would be really great and something to see. So I think that'll be something that we'll kind of concentrate on and have a look at tomorrow. If you are interested in going, because season tickets are now available, adult season tickets for the whole league season is 45 quid. It is not an awful lot. If you are thinking about, well, what are we going to do for a Sunday afternoon, kind of entertainment, £45 for an adult, 65 and over is £35, 18 and under is only £25, and being, the original family club and all of that, family season tickets, which are 2 adults and 2 under 18s, are 125 quid, which is a further saving of £15. So if you are wanted to, take on a team to come and look at, you could do an awful lot worse, genuinely, than basically be looking at the women's team for some of your further Watfordish entertainment. One of the things that I thought I'd do was introduce Renee Hector. We've interviewed her previously last season. It's her second year, and her words earlier on today was, "It's no secret that we are aiming to get back into the top 2 tiers of women's football. I feel like we have assembled a really strong squad and built a really good culture and mentality within the group. I know that some of those players are good enough to play in tier 2 for sure. The 9-game unbeaten run that they went on at the end of the season is something to be very proud of, especially as during that time we had a lot of key injuries and suspensions. We can definitely take confidence from how we finished last season. I think they definitely can. In terms of the squad and who's coming in, there are some new names, there are some new faces, there are some old faces that we will remember. So Grace Garrett, who was part of the team 2 years ago when they got promoted from this division, has come back, having been at Lewis and could be Oxford. I can't remember. Wherever she's been, and when we played us, she's been frankly a pain in the arse. It's much better having her on on our side, being a pain in the arse for the opposition. There have been a few players who have moved away or have left for us, which include Kalani Pert, who did Perts. You can see what I did there. A fantastic Bianca Baptiste, who just basically has a 1,000,000-watt smile. She had retired last season and came back to play a part in it. And Gemma Davison, who played at one stage for England. And then finally Jessie Gale, who was on loan from Arsenal, who, of course, we have very, very close connections with. We've signed a couple of additional players who were with us on what's called dual registration, which Jessie was as well. And they are... Isabel Fisher has joined us, as has Lucy Lyon, which is great news. Now, the reason I sort of particularly mentioned that and looking about the women's football is the fact that this year, it has seen the Euros go, and yeah, I know everybody looks at it and goes, yeah, but they can't take penalties, can they? I mean, everybody said it, everybody did. I did as well. However, one of the players who was the star of the show for England came on really kind of ripping it up, was playing under that dual registration for us with Arsenal literally only 2 seasons ago. Michelle Aguiman was there doing really well, and now she's gone through and pulled it up. So if you think, well, maybe I could follow something, you're seeing the stars of tomorrow potentially. So do try to get behind them because they are really worth seeing. Right, let's get across to a call. Oh, we've got Jonny Hornet. We haven't spoken to Jonny Hornet in a little while. Let's get Jonny Hornet on from Leeds and see how he is, because we've got, let's face it, we've still got what, six scores to get, and I can't push Justin for all of them. That would be wrong. Jonny, sir, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Peter. How are you doing?
Good. I'm very well. I mean, let's face it, it's a good day where all Watford people are concerned, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, I thought it was a good win. I think just unfortunate, like, to concede that goal before half time. I think it just sort of changed the dynamic of the match a bit. Sorry, I'm just at the King's Cross making a bit of noise, but yeah, I think it just changed the dynamic of the game. So we went at 2-0. I think it would have been a bit of an easier win for us.
I agree. I think it was a real shot in their arm, and that, as they always say, scoring just before half time means that you've got a 15-minute positive rather than a 15 negative. So we did well to try to keep everything moving at the end, I think, and getting across the line. You're heading back up to Leeds, I'm taking it.
Yes, I am. Yeah, just getting the train back tonight. So
yeah, fair enough. Kevin, and here I am back on YouTube, everybody. Woohoo!
I think it was I didn't really do anything. I didn't really notice him. I thought he was probably like a solid 7 or an 8. I mean, he didn't seem to do anything wrong, really. I thought he had a good game, to be honest. I thought the player that I probably struggled with a little bit was the left back. I thought he struggled at the end of the game.
Boller, yeah.
And then I think it was good. I thought it was unfortunate to have to then put Ngakia into that position when he was having such a good game and he was having to sort of check his foot every time, when we was played on that side.
That's a great point, actually, because Boller, in fairness to Boller, he cleared one off the line just before he then got taken off. But you're right, because when Ngakia went across there, he was suddenly joining in going forward as an attacking threat. Not words we normally associate with Jeremy Ngakia, in fairness to him, but he did a fine job today. Well, let's get marks out of 10 for both of those, because you've called them out. Kevin, you said, what, are you going to go with a 7 or an 8?
I'll probably give him an 8. So yeah, an 8, say. And I thought Bowler, I'll probably say he was I'd say 6.5 maybe. I didn't think he was great. He struggled at the end of the match, which seems to be why they brought him off.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought Barr was an interesting one. I think he's a bit like Kappadadze sometimes, where he should kind of be, when he's other people are in better positions, he should be playing the ball to me, sort of trying to single-handedly win the game a bit.
Yeah. Well.
Go on. Sorry, Peter. Go
on. No. I was going to say I agree. I think he came on and it was interesting because Nestori had been played it. And do I call him Nestori or Irankunda? I don't know which one. Nestori, I'm going to call him. Had played it through the middle, and he was sort of. It felt like kind of big man, small man running on. He gave us that option. Whereas Barr is such an individualist that when he goes off and he kind of tends to get it and bundle down the left-hand side, and he's brilliant. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's not a complaint at all, because I was making it all the time. But in comparison to what Irankunda did, it didn't quite click as well.
Yeah, and was it Ngakia who played like a back heel at one point? I mean, I might be wrong, but
he did. I imagine at that point the clock stopped and everything went wrong. What on earth is he doing? He has no interest in doing that sort of thing. No, I thought he was excellent in Ngakia. I really do.
I mean, I'm happy to beat them because my best mate's a QPR fan, and they always sort of seem to do us. I think there was quite a few games over the years, like one when he was the guy that used to play for QPR, was Shitu, and
yes, Dan.
When we played them at home, it was like 15 years ago, they always seem to sort of do us. So it's good to it's good to kind of get a win over them, get a bit of bragging rights. But it was also interesting what the club did with that programme seller. I thought that was quite nice as well, to give the guy that was the programme seller kind of a season ticket for life.
Oh yes, absolutely. Old Programmes Dave. Yes, he's been all over our socials, having a chat, which was lovely. No, he was delighted for it. Importantly, all of the other programme sellers also have a season ticket for this year as well, which is a nice touch. I think they've done that.
Yeah, it was really good from the club to do that, and yeah. Sorry, just a quick one. Do you know what's the situation with the sale of Udinese? Is that going through, or?
I must confess, haven't heard anything about it for a number of weeks. To be honest, it's gone very, very quiet in that respect. But it's kind of did I trust that it was going to go through? I was hopeful. Might it still go through? God knows. These things seem to be protracted, and if you look at the number of kind of times when we got to due diligence, there's only one person, or there's only one thing that's involved, which is, it's the Pozzo family. We know he drives a hard bargain. My understanding was that the price he wanted was what stopped Watford being sold, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if what he's looking for Udinese might be the reason why it didn't happen over there, or as yet. But who knows? We can only hope that it does so, and that it frees up some pockets for him to make investments. Because let's be honest, we haven't really broken the bank in terms of the investments this summer. But I'm relatively content with not breaking the bank. Have you thought in terms of the recruitment? Have you been pleased with it, or have you hoped that we would, kind of go one stage further and be investing a little bit more in terms of quality coming in?
To be honest, I'm kind of I've not really been paying too much to it. I've kind of a summer off looking at signings, so I'm kind of just a bit sort of ambivalent about it, really. Okay. Some of them I don't think you really know until they play, so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of quantity, but I guess it's just like, are they quality? I don't know. You have to see what it's like after 10 games, really. But we seem to be playing okay. I'm not sure QPR are the best team, so yeah, I'd be interested to see how we get on.
Absolutely.
And it'd be also interesting to see whether we appeal that red card as well. Obviously, missing him will be key. But he had a great game today as well. So,
well, I mean, as we've asked, and the good burgers of YouTube have come back and confirmed that no, they think it was a straight red. It doesn't look like it's going to be contested. I think those in the ground, because obviously the distance, you don't get the replays and all of that. It felt like he was going in fast and basically couldn't stop and kind of slipped. But who knows? We are looking at it through yellow tinted glasses, aren't we? Go on.
There was another incident, when Sissoko I think it was in the first half, like he could have had a red where he went to kind of take the ball off a guy and totally missed him, and he was quite lucky. I think Sissoko could have potentially had a red on the first half of that. It was probably lucky that the guy sort of dived out of the way a bit.
Very good. Yeah. Well, I thought Sissoko did all right, and he'll yes.
Yeah, I thought he played well as well. Yeah,
we were lucky today, so he was lucky to get that and not to get involved. How we're going to deal without Loser, we will see. Jonny, sir, have a safe and happy journey back to Leeds. Jonny comes down, goes and basically then goes back up to Leeds again. You'll have seen the gentleman from Scotland kind of dealing with who came down last season 23 times. Yes, 23 games he caught last season from living in Scotland, and he was down for the game against Norwich. That must have felt a long way back. Let's have a look. Matt 2890 on YouTube says, "What a great win! Just what we needed for our first home game of the season. I even made a prediction of 2-1 win for kickoff." Well done, Matt. Well done. Like to see that. Justin, sir. What before we go to Ellie? Did you just send me something over? Was there something we've got to go and have a look at?
Well, maybe it's. I think it's the audio of the press conference with Pet Solano after the game, but I'm not sure if it's going to play out on X because we had a few issues last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all I should send you over.
No, that's all right. We'll transcribe that and see where we get to. Let's go and see somebody we haven't spoken to in absolutely yonks. We're going to find out all about Coney Heath probably and all sorts of other things as well. Let's go to Ellie, who we haven't spoken to for ages. Ellie, how are you doing?
Hi, Pete. How are we?
I'm all right. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for asking.
Are we all happy bunnies for once? Happy Hornets for the first time in a long time, I think.
Well, it's one of those, like last week, tried to not get too low. And this week, trying to not get too high. Probably doing a better job of not getting too low last week than I am of not getting too high this week. But hey ho, we'll take those. It was it was really needed. I think after Tuesday, things felt a little bit
sad.
No, but it felt like it had the potential to get there pretty quickly. We know what the owner, how the owner is. He's not slow to make a change if he thinks something is wrong.
I know, and that's the problem. And I think that ultimately, let's take the 3 points and let's take it game by game and not get too excited.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's so much progress, and I've seen both the goals actually. I don't actually now follow Coney Heath at all. I now follow Cockfosters.
You hold on. We need to go back to this. There has been a move across from Coney Heath to Cockfosters, and how far is Cockfosters away from you to travel now? Is this
like 20 minutes?
Ooh.
So it's not far. It's just down the road, but because it's just a nicer style of football, should we say?
Oh.
With more experienced players. In every single football team, you need a mix of youth and experience, right? And I think that the difference is that I'm massive. My season ticket for Cockfosters is 60 quid for the season,
right?
And that's all my home games, and I can sometimes. And for away games, I pay like a tenner on the gate.
Okay.
And I just think that for me, non-league is so much better than I could, eventually take mum if she'll ever come back to the Vic. I'd gladly take mum up the Vic. It's not a problem. But yeah, I'm just really pleased with the win. I just think the boys, I've looked at both the goals. Both the goals are actually of really good quality, to be fair. But I also think that actually moving forward, we still sit in really deep, and we need to stretch we need to draw out the other team so that we're not sitting as deep.
Hold on, we need to
in our midfield.
We need to draw out the other team so that we're not sitting as deep, but you draw out a team by sitting deep.
Yeah, so if you sit deep, what you need to do is you need to get your forwards getting forward. So they need to pass the ball quickly and recycle the ball constantly to draw them back out. If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I'm afraid. Sorry, I'm slightly confused because
quick passing.
Yeah,
quick passing will always tire out the opposition far quicker.
Right.
And that's and then you poke it. How you win football matches is through the channels. So you go through the middle and around the outside. That's how you win a game of football.
Okay. So you want a bit more quicker tempo rather than low tempo.
Higher tempo. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the problem is with Watford, and I was seeing this on Tuesday, is that we're just a bit slow. We're not very high energy, if you get what I mean.
Tuesday, you are absolutely correct. Tuesday was as bad as the first half today was good. I mean, it really was.
We look like non-league.
No, I've seen better organisation at non-league level. Genuinely, I thought Tuesday night was the first half was as bad as I've seen a half. The improvement in the second half was good, but it was by basically let's give the ball to Irankunda, or let's give the ball to Kwadwo Bar, and both of those will have a run, and we'll see what we can create. And both of them caused, relatively speaking, havoc, but we still weren't good as a team. Today was chalk and cheese. Today was there was a plan, there was movement, there was everything in there. We still kept the ball deep and drew them on, and especially with goal kicks. And it was one of the things that people were saying, stop fanning about with it at the back. And I've got absolute agreement in terms of all of that. But what was quite nice was when we played it short and they kind of tried to come in and shut us down. They brought so many players forward that then you decide to play long. There was at one point today where it was Kieran Gold or Kim Gold, whichever one we're called, big number 9 from Denmark, and him, and I think it was Irankunda at the time. I don't think he'd been taken off. They were 1-on-1 with defenders at the time, and it was like, just put it through, through, because the one thing this lad can do is win the flick-ons, and then you've got this speed merchant in he's an absolute racist snake in Irankunda, and he'll get onto it and he'll just cause havoc, which is a delight to see. But it was certainly better. It was certainly more intense. So did you see Cockfosters? Have you started the season today?
Yes, we started our season about a month ago. They started our season early, but today was our cup game, so we're through to the next stage in the FA Cup.
Oh, nice. So what's that? Is that second qualifying stage or third?
It's prelim.
Right.
So we've gone through the prelim stage. So we play our next stage on the 30th of August, and we get the draw. We find out Monday at 1:00 who we're going to be playing.
Is it the old sort of radio one for the early rounds? Because they used to, for anybody who's not familiar, back in the day, the FA Cup always used to be drawn, and you get the draw over the radio at 1:00 on a Monday lunchtime.
It comes out in an email, not quite radio, but it's on an email. So now they'll email it out, and when we so if we get past this next stage, we enter the first round proper.
Who says the romance is dead when they send you an email of the... Honestly, they're missing the chance there. Come on, 5 Live. I tell you what.
I can't believe it. And it's actually so exciting, especially as Cockfosters is quite a small club.
Justin, Ellie, hold
club.
on. Ellie, hold on. Justin, I'm making an executive decision. I think what we absolutely need to have... I mean, Josh Lewis is making an absolutely point. Finding more Coney Heath representation. No, she's turned. She's gone the other way. We need somebody to come in and represent Coney Heath now. We're all about the Cockfosters here, if you'll excuse the expression.
I've gone. But the thing is,
Ellie, be quiet for a second. Stop a second. You have to have a particularly kind of firm rein on Ellie, otherwise she just goes wobbling away. Right, Justin, I think we should make an executive decision, and at 1:00 on Monday we should basically do an emergency spaces for the FA Cup draw announcements, and I think we should just do it. What do you reckon?
If you want to do it.
I reckon so. There might be nobody listening, but fuck me, it is a tradition that we're going to keep alive, even if nobody listens. Ellie, back to you now. I do apologise. Needed to rein you in there.
Fine.
Go on, carry on.
I think it's really good because non-league needs our money so much more than the big clubs do. And I also think, I was down at Kings Langley the other week when we knocked Kings Langley out of the FA Cup, and their pitch is like a carpet. It's beautiful. It's so well maintained. The parking's an absolute nightmare though. So if you're going to go and watch a game down at Kings Langley, you need to get there early because you won't be able to get parked otherwise. It's an absolute nightmare. But I do think they've got a really nice setup down there, and they've got a good setup, and they've obviously invested a lot of money. But Kings Langley as a football club were playing at step 3, I believe. Right. A long time. And then they got knocked down. They went, obviously now it's playing at step 5. So it's a good ground to go to, and you'll enjoy your football there. And it's got a really good, really good offering, and it's quite safe for families, to be fair.
Very good. Well, in fairness, most non-league teams are fair and good for families. I'm going to ask you: Did you see the game? Because even if you didn't, I'm still going to ask you for a mark out of 10 because we will not let a lack of knowledge get in the way.
I didn't obviously see the game, but I saw the goals because I couldn't find a naughty, stream. So if you guys want to maybe stream live from the game, that would be great because then I can sort of do like a bit of both. But I would say it was about a 7 out of 10.
7. What? So you're giving all the rest of the players. So I was going to give you a designated player.
Oh no!
I am. No. I'm going to give you because he provided one of the assists for the goals that you saw, which is a good thing. So that gives you a chance. But he then got a red card at the end. Imran loser. What are you going to give him? Bearing in mind the typical way, and I've noticed this in all sorts of in all sorts of newspapers, is if you're rubbish, you get a 6. If you're kind of okay, you get a 7. If you're brilliant, you get an 8. Those seem to be the only numbers they use. You, however, can use the whole gamut from 1 through to 10, should you wish, for Imran Loser.
For Imran Loser today for the assist?
Yeah.
I would give him a 10 for the assist.
And what would you deduct for the sending off?
2.
So you're giving him an 8 overall?
An 8 overall because of the sending off. There's no need to. I think it's silly. And it's just annoying. I haven't seen the sending off, though, to be fair. They haven't released that yet. Watford haven't released it, his sending off.
Well,
normally they release them.
We never
get everyone's thoughts on the sending off.
We never let a lack of knowledge get in the way of somebody having an opinion. And I'm glad to see that we're carrying on with that fine tradition. There's Ellie, everybody. We've now got Cockfoster, so we need somebody to cover Coney Heath because we used to know what was going on with Coney Heath all the time, whether we wanted to or not. Now we're not so sure. Now we're all about the Cockfosters. Have to be very, very careful with that sentence. Never mind. Justin, sir, we have 3 players, no less, that we need scores for. Hold on, let's go and see what we got a comment. Oh no, that was the finally Coney Heath representation. I'm going to ask Elliot if he's still listening. I would like Elliot from YouTube. I would like marks out of 10 for the player we've been talking about, for Jeremy Ngakia, and I'm sending it out to Elliot, who's been very active on the comments these last 2 weeks since we've come across and made a bodge of YouTube as well as a bodge on Spaces. I think it's there. Elliot, let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to go to Justin. I'm going to say, what about James Abankwah? What are you going to give him out of 10?
That's a good question, Peter.
Thank you very much. I thought I'd hold it up my sleeve and then throw it to you.
Well, I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's go for a sort of above average 6, or let's go for 7. Let's be kind. Let's do 7.
You can't go above average 6. I mean, 6 in the newspaper.
6 is above average, right? So I've gone above that. So let's go for a 7.
Well, 6 in the newspaper is basically turned up one-legged and kind of hopped around a bit, and that was it.
I heard you say that.
So this is the way to go.
It's not a 10.
Okay,
he's not a 9 or an 8. Let's go for a 7.
7. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go with Kayembe. Now, I thought when we were pressing in the first half, Kayembe frustrated the hell out of me because he was the one player who kept jogging rather than kind of running in and shutting down. So I thought he was frustrating, but I thought he gained influence, and he had a few shots from distance. One I thought was kind of wasting a good position in the first half, and then he had a really good chance that he tried to put in laid on. So I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7. I appreciate it is the equivalent of like not doing anything, but the one player we've left is Ngakia, and we'll see whether or not Elliot manages to get something across to us. Elliot, you've got to let us know marks out of 10 on that. So far, leading is Selvik with a 9, although that has been argued by Elliot at this moment in time. So Elliot can make a decision that Ngakia is so good that he deserves it, and thus ripping the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes Man of the Match award out of Selvik's hands. And don't forget, he's wearing gloves; he can handle things. By awarding Ngakia, I know 9.1 or anything above. Kevin got an 8, Kiprianu got a 7, Abankwah's got a 7, Kayembe got a 7, Kieramgard got a 9. Now, he could still be up for it. Therefore, Nestori Irankunda got an 8, although I think it was an eye-catching 8 and very good too. Loser got an 8 on the basis he gets 10 for the assist, but then loses 2 points. No, I didn't understand it either, but it still seems to work. Bola seems to be the overall player who felt like he kind of was a little less influential, possibly, in terms of getting a 6. However, as I say, he got a goal line clearance literally about 5 minutes before he got the hook. So what can you say? and finally Musa Sissoko, who ended up with an 8. I thought it was a thoroughly impressive performance. Justin, final words before we let everybody crack on with their Saturday evening and enjoy things. What do we've got a few things this week, and we've got to worry about. We're going to be talking to Swansea and then doing an opposition view live, including new Untenable, which is excellent. I like that very much indeed.
Going ahead with that, are you?
Yes, we're going ahead with that. That's no problem.
Right.
We like that.
Okay.
Justin doesn't like it because he's the fall guy, the victim. Sorry, the target, one of the two. So we'll be having chats about that and everything else. But in the meantime, I think we can just give. I think as we haven't heard from Elliot, I think I'm just going to give Ngakia 9.1. I make
9.1.
I make Jeremy Ngakia today's man of the match, and if I'm not, I won't get a round of applause here. And look, I must be right. It's almost like I'm in charge of the soundboard. Never mind.
You are fading in and out a little bit on X, Peter.
Am I?
I'm a little bit of dropout here and there, but
well,
you mainly.
In fairness, what would I be without a little bit of dropout? Look, guys, thank you very much indeed. We've done over an hour here, and it's lovely to hear from you all. It's great to have a win. Full stop. It didn't matter how it came, but I think especially in that first half, the manner in which it came was something. Showing a bit of resilience because QPR did get up for it. Ilias Chair was really quite decent. I thought we kept Dembele very quiet for long periods, and he's a reasonable player. So, I think we'll take that. Whether or not we think QPR are, where they're going to be exactly this season, we will see. They've just signed Kone. He came on. We still managed to keep that and see it through and get the 3 points. That's the most important thing. But the performance that we put in was pleasing. And I think Pet Solano needed both today. From the fans' perspective, more than anything at all. That's what he needed. So, look, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again very soon. And, come on, you Warns. And if you're anywhere in the Lewis area, get down and support them against go and support the Golden Girls down there as they start off their season again. See you all, and many thanks indeed.